De retour les amis sur HONKAI STAR RAIL, on va continuer, hein. Donc c'était la petite quête avec voilà. Enlever, c'est avec Castor Ice et Thanatos. On va juste attendre qu'on puisse avoir le bouton
After
skip.
all,
Voilà.
then what was left of my reason was left behind in the Netherrealm, where I've been taking care of these flowers day after day, until there is now a sea of them, all while mulling over the subject of life, death, parting, and enduring an endless loneliness.
Fate is absurd indeed. Our lives were a mirrored image of one another, like a pair of hands. Even so, we arrived at the same destination. We walked different paths, yet experienced the same pain.
I had hoped that maybe you would at least have a good life in this cycle. I'm sorry.
I lived my life well. It didn't go to waste. As far as I'm concerned, you did nothing wrong.
Even though I forced the authority of granting death to humanity upon you, a total stranger.
Too many responsibilities were forced upon me in the course of this long journey. I was once lost, even upset. But I realized recently that if it weren't for your blessing, I wouldn't have understood the source of these emotions, nor would I have realized my purpose. I wouldn't have made it here to reunite with my missing half. And we wouldn't be discussing our past while sharing the same view of this landscape. I wouldn't have understood the meaning of our existence.
The meaning of our existence.
This sea of flowers blooms on dead land, because we sowed it with the seeds of our separation and watered it with our tears of loneliness. Yes, the only thing death is allowed to create are flowers that bloom from blood and tears. That's why Thanatos cannot create living beings at will, nor can the hand of shadow determine a person's remaining days. Because the life and death of mortals should never be dictated by another's will.
Are you saying there's no point in Thanatos' existence?
No. No single being can bear the scales of life and death on their own. Not even a god. Life and death weigh equally heavy. We both know that now, don't we?
You, too, must have had a difficult life. We've taken quite the ridiculous journey together, haven't we? I had a feeling, even back then, that we would meet again one day. Not to embrace one another after a long separation, but to come in search of retribution. Tell me the answer that's already been written, and let us draw this seemingly endless fate to a close. It's been far too long. I've waited here for centuries, watching day after day as desperate spirits are denied by this lonely wasteland. I always hoped I would see you among them, but I was also afraid of seeing you. I didn't know how I could possibly face you again, but more than anything, I was afraid that you might have forgotten all about me.
I know. But don't you see, Polixia? I made it back anyway. You don't have to shoulder death's authority on your own anymore. It was always meant to be held in two hands anyway. So, let's give our core flame to him, and have him take it back to the mortal realm. Give humanity back their cycle of life and death. Our responsibility as Thanatos was never about picking out favorite souls. We were only meant to watch over life. Let's tend the field together and create a warm sea of flowers for all the souls to come. What do you think, Polixia?
Yes, just one last step. You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold by the prophecy, Thanatos' authority is only destined for only one person to wield. As the Chrysos heir of death, as their demigod, as a titan, our fated moment has arrived once again.
Just like before.
Yes, just like before. But unlike that time, the ones undergoing the trial this time are prepared.
You've made up your mind?
Yes, as dictated by fate. But I won't be afraid, as long as you're here with me. Complete your trial in this life. Grant me the embrace of death, and light the spark of life ablaze. You've been tempered by life and death. I know you'll be able to give this wasteland its first breath of life. Like a raven butterfly, flying swiftly into the nether realm, perching on the twig of death.
I will. After this, I will remain permanently in the Netherrealm. The river of souls shall return here and rain down from the sky, scattering souls across the earth. The cycle of life and death will flow once again. This sea of flowers you sowed shall bear countless joyous or sorrowful souls, and bloom evermore.
Thank you. Just one last thing. Can you grant me one wish?
Of course. What is it?
Please, don't forget me.
I promise you, when we meet in the next world, even if I have endured another reincarnation, even if we do not know each other's names, I will still hold you tightly in my arms, just like what I did when we were born.
Casterus, you're as beautiful as a fleeting butterfly.
I will bring rest to death. And from now on, stagnant life will once again flow. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, the 15th entry hour is already at hand. When this farce is over, your soul will be placed on the scales of life and death. Are you ready?
No need to ask so many times. Of course I am.
Then why do you drag your feet? Is your fear of crowds holding you back again?
I simply find them too noisy. Paying attention to conceited fools like them would be an utter waste of my time.
Such harsh words. As I see it, you are no less arrogant than they are.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh. I did not expect to hear that from you. Are you not going to refute me?
I know myself better than you think I do. At the very least, better than a stowaway like you.
And they say men whose ends are nigh have but kind words. Well, that is exactly why I chose you.
Should I thank you for the compliment?
The hour of the trial has come. Do you have an answer for me? And how will you prove the veracity of your argument?
I suppose there is no point in putting this off any longer. Do you recall where we stopped the last time?
You were saying that Amphorius's history is cyclical.
Indeed. The demigods that bear the core flames eventually become the new titans at the world's end. Remember what happened on the Holy Mountain? Calypso, Naias. As their destined ends approached, one by one they left this world, leaving only the twins, who are fated to succeed death. Unfortunately, while their journey is consistent with ours, you and Calypso, as well as Nicodor and Naias, act as supporting evidence. I can only come up with a rough sketch for my theory of a cyclical history. For all the pains I took to reach this point, I had already lost hope of ever obtaining definitive proof. After all, the past is in the past. Proving that we are the legacies of heroes of the past is a hopeless endeavor. That is, until I met a girl named Polixia and her sister. If Castorus was truly sent from the past to the present for the Titan's self-serving reasons, then having lived through 2 cycles, and with Styxia as the pivot, she will no doubt be the link to connect all of this together. If the Twins of Death can bridge 2 cycles to reunite at the shores of the Sea of Souls, then my hypothesis will no longer be just a hypothesis. And you too will get the answer to your question.
Well, that is all well and good, but how can you be so sure? If there is even the slightest error in your hypothesis, the girl will be shattered.
It matters not. The most important quality a scholar must possess is foolhardiness. If you are overly cautious, then you'll never have the gumption to make the first step, and change will never come. Besides, I, Anaxagoras, am destined to overturn this farcical world. Come, let us go and teach those pathetic worms one final lesson.
On ira voir les misérables insectes un peu plus tard, bien évidemment. Hein. On va pas y aller maintenant. Du moins là, on est vraiment sur les dernières lignes droites, de toute façon, de la quête pionnière. On le ressent. avec en plus ce qui s'est passé via Castle Rice. Donc là, vous voyez, alors, elle n'est pas comptée l'autre quête, mais bon, je vous la mets à la suite. Donc elle va être directement juste derrière. Elle comprend au passeur, bien évidemment, au passeur emmène-moi sur le fleuve de l'au-delà. Et comme elle, normalement, elle devait couper, je préfère faire une plus petite vidéo, parce que déjà, ça a duré très longtemps. Et on reprendra, bien sûr, avec Oh citoyen, écoute, le grondement des marées déchaînées. Et on aura sûrement une petite quête pionnière. On va aller regarder un petit peu les succès, hein, puisqu'on en avait réalisé quelques-uns tout de même. Grâce à la quête pionnière. Et il me manquerait apparemment quand même 3 parties, donc il y a encore il y a encore une bonne partie. Je pense qu'on a fait pas loin des... On n'est pas loin des 3/4. C'est possible. Mais ouais, ça va pas forcément être des plus simples. Eh ben écoutez les amis, on va s'arrêter ici pour cet épisode, en espérant que voilà, ça vous ait plu. Je vous dis à très bientôt pour de prochaines aventures sur HONKAI STAR RAIL. Vous allez avoir d'ailleurs le live, hein. Il y a le live 3.3 qui va arriver cet après-midi, ou au début d'après-midi, hein, bien sûr. Donc n'hésitez pas à aller le regarder, si vous voulez vous informer sur les nouveaux persos qui vont sortir. Bon, déjà il y a Cypher, donc moi je vais essayer de voir un petit peu ce que le perso va donner. Et après on a Yacine qui devrait être un healer super top. On verra, hein. Bien évidemment on verra. De toute façon on aura le live. Ils vont aussi nous indiquer s'il y a de nouveaux ennemis, ce qui peut arriver, s'il y a des nouvelles releases, ce qui peut arriver. Voilà. On verra tout ça. Moi je vais voir tout ça en live. Après moi je fais pas de résumé de live, vous le savez très bien. Je pense que depuis le temps, moi c'est surtout je me concentre sur l'histoire, de monter mes personnages, de faire par exemple tout ce qui est MOC. D'ailleurs, ça va être quoi le prochain? C'est pas justement les MOC qui vont arriver? Non, je me suis trompé. Là aussi. Ouais, c'est les MOC qui vont arriver. Donc dans moins de 4 jours. Bon là maintenant avec l'heure et le jour du live, il restera un peu moins de 3 jours. Donc ouais, il va falloir voir un petit peu ce qu'ils vont nous demander. Je pense que de toute façon, Castor Ice restera très intéressante. En plus, on a un AXA. Donc les faiblesses, on va pouvoir passer un peu à travers. Après, je vais pas dire que le Anaxa, il est balèze. On est loin de ça, mais en tout cas, il a quand même des stats plutôt pas trop mal. Bien sûr, je peux pas voir mon Anaxa. Si, il est là. J'ai pas beaucoup d'attaques, mais je suis vraiment dans le dégât vent. Donc, ça pallie un peu. C'est pas ce qui est plus opti. On préférait au moins avoir entre 2005 et 2600 d'attaque, au moins. Mais écoutez, je suis à 2100. J'ai des stats qui sont pas trop mauvaises. En vrai, ça va. Ça pourrait être pire. Ça pourrait clairement être pire. J'ai eu une petite amélioration. Avant, on n'était pas loin de la RTA. On était vraiment pas trop loin. J'ai réussi à augmenter un peu au niveau des pièces. Donc, alors moi c'est un stuff attaque suivi. Ne reproduisez pas ça. C'est clairement un stuff vent qui est préférable sur lui, mais pour le moment, je n'initie pas. Et d'ailleurs, il y a relique x2, enfin, ce sera relique x3 entre guillemets, 10-300%, à partir aussi du même jour que le live. Donc, n'hésitez pas à farmer les reliques qui sont les plus intéressantes. Après, j'avoue, pour un AXA, on peut viser le stuff quantique, certes, mais son meilleur set devrait être le vent, surtout si vous l'accompagnez de personnes en érudition. Comme moi, j'ai plus l'accompagner par exemple avec Jade. Là, on se fait un petit kiff avec Castor Ice, mais généralement, c'est plus avec Jade. Voilà, hein. On s'était fait un petit kiff. Là, on voit que le kiff, il est enlevé. Mais en gros, c'est comme ça qu'on peut jouer les personnages. Donc les amis, bah écoutez, j'espère que ça vous aura plu. Je vous dis à très bientôt pour de prochaines aventures sur HONKAI STAR RAIL. Et salut à tous!